Good morning and welcome to the morning show with Angel and Tina, except for that Tina is sitting in a power outage this morning and unable to come on live. But no worries, the show must go on. And I have Chef Maribel in studio with us back in her kitchen. How you doing, Maribel?
I'm great. I'm great. Happy New Year.
It is Happy New Year. That's right. This is the first time we're together again. We have been
Yeah.
doing every Friday. I think we were together in November, getting ready for Thanksgiving dinner. We were together almost every Friday in December. Okay, so before we all get all into the kitchen, how's your new year going so far?
It's going great. I've been super busy promoting and doing free classes, trying to get people on the bandwagon again of cooking. And my January focus is healthy, delicious, low fat cooking, which is what we're going to do today.
Healthy, delicious, low fat. Okay. Do those like you think okay, you can have like two of the three, right? You can have healthy and low fat, but it won't be delicious. You can be, healthy and delicious, but it won't be low fat. Like you can
Right.
usually only have two of the three, but you're telling us we can have all three.
I think so. Yes. 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 I'm confident. I guarantee it.
Well, I know, right? It is the new year, like new slate. We've all been, setting those goals for the year to just be healthier, maybe eat a little cleaner, watch what we're putting in our mouths after what I deem sugar season, right? We were having all the holiday treats and all the extra goodies that we don't always allow ourselves. But now it's fresh and clean, and it's January. Hopefully, we have a few more vegetables stocked in our fridge. Okay, so you've got new classes. So before we start in with what you're playing on in the kitchen today, tell us about the new classes and things that you've got coming up so that people can start to take notes.
Right. If they go to my website, I am doing a cooking membership. I realized that after launching like a beginner essential cooking class series, it was like four classes 1 month. It's not enough. So I had been marinating the idea of a cooking membership, and so I finally committed to it, and I've launched it, and people can still enroll. It will be an ongoing membership enrollment, um, and it's meal planning, it's cooking, it's live feedback, live classes, as well as recorded classes. All classes can be recorded if you can't make the live class. And I'm still going to be appearing in free opportunities for people. But I think the main thing is to go to my website, cocinamaribel.com. That's COCINAMARIB as in boy, EL.com. And follow me on Instagram, because there I'm always posting. I'm going to go here, free there, live there kind of thing. So, and my newsletter. So,
And your newsletter, cocinamaribel.com. Okay, so we're in your kitchen, which every time you come on, I keep remembering that I want to do a tour of your kitchen one of
I
these
know today would
days.
have been a good day to do it.
It would have been, but what are we doing today? What are we prepping?
We are doing a fish dish. So, fish, low fat, great protein, um, fish and vegetables. And it's called en papillon, which is like, um, it's in parchment paper, and it is a technique of basically cooking everything instead of like a one pot. It's a one parchment envelope that you put in the oven. And this is, you might have seen back in the day, aluminum did this on the grill where you have like little packets that you put on the grill. It's the same idea, but it's great for fish because fish cooks really fast. And if you cut the vegetables thinly enough, they will cook as well with the fish. And it's a great go to, and everyone can do their own kind of seasoning. So we're going to do that. And I think it's delicious because we have olive oil. You can definitely add a little bit of butter, and you can add wine to it. It's just like the right kind of, well, fish is kind of umami. It's that flavor that you don't know that you like so much, but it's good, and then it's good for you. So
And how often, so if we're like trying to eat a little healthier, how often should we incorporate fish into our diets?
I mean, I'm not a dietitian. I did study health and wellness is my background, and that is my interest. I'm not, but I try to incorporate fish at least once a week into my diet, and definitely, you can get it not only from fresh fish, but you can get it from canned tuna or canned salmon, things that are a little bit more shelf stable and accessible for people. But my main focus as well, with I did a free class this month, and I'm going to offer it as soon as I like edit the video. I'm going to offer it for people to download on my website. Is that it's not only like, if you're going to put the effort into cooking, why not economize your time and see what other dishes you can get out of that same main ingredient. So if I were to do this fish, maybe I can transform it into a fish cake later if I have extra, so I can prepare a little extra, and then you're reinventing it, representing it in a different way. And honestly, this is what chefs do in the restaurant. They have one main ingredient, like say they got a lot of mushrooms. So, they have it in their main menu, but they probably will create a special dish for it for the week. So that's basically the same concept. And I know that's kind of hard for people to think of different meals. So that's why my cooking program is perfect for that, because I'm doing it for you. We're talking about it. It's all a practice. It's you got to get in the kitchen. There is some work.
Right? Well,
But
if you're watching all those cooking shows, like, if you'd love to watch cooking shows just for inspiration ideas, this is taking that one step even further, because we're working like with you, and you've got
yeah,
access to Maribel, and to walk you through and to learn
yeah.
step by step, so you watch the shows, which are kind of fun for inspiration, but yeah, these kinds of things, you're like taking it one step further and making it very, very
Yeah,
interactive.
very interactive and very step by step, and very like uh the reasoning behind why you do it. So I'm actually showing you we're doing it this method because we want this effect, and this is the reason you do it. So every single ingredient we do, I'm explaining the process.
All right. All right. Well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna put a little spotlight on this, on your piece of fish. So tell us what you
Okay.
got going on there.
So this is striped bass, which I love. It happens to be from my favorite supplier here in Austin. It's only available to wholesalers, but this is the fish that I use for my ceviche class. So what I'm going to do is, it's ideal to have parchment paper, only because if you use aluminum, it might transfer a little bit of flavor from the aluminum. But just for the sake of accessibility, I am going to do it with aluminum. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little envelope with this fish, and I'm just going to dress it with olive oil, salt, and pepper. And the ingredients and vegetables that I have to accompany it are just what I have in my refrigerator. So I happen to have a sweet potato. I happen to
You
have,
happen to have a sweet potato. You happen to have,
yeah.
this is a smart shopper, folks. Like, this girl, like, when you just happen to have, I like happen to have some peanut butter, right? I happen to have, right? Like, this is a smart shopper. Okay, so you had, sorry, a sweet potato.
So, so the idea is to have some kind of starch, because unfortunately, starch gives us some satiety. Like it's satiates our stomachs. It gives a little bit of substance to the fish, which is light. And then, so I usually have some kind of potato in this parchment situation. And then I have some kind of vegetable. So I have a zucchini, bonus. I have an onion, great, because I have some flavor. And then I have some hydroponic tomatoes, which are not in season, but I like the acidity. So you always want to include acidity. So I have these three things going for me, and that's probably enough for this package on the fish. And then a lemon to add a little bit of acidity and complement the fish. Olive oil, which I'm using extra virgin olive oil. I'm using a lemon and pepper seasoning, which is great. It's light. It's not as strong as like black pepper, but if you have black pepper, no problem. And then my salt, I'm using a little bit of sea salt. So I'm going to cut everything up and then we'll put it together. And I'm going to start with my onion. So you'll see that. I'm going to just cut it into thin slices, and I cut the edge, and then I, of course, I'm just going to peel it really quick. And, you know, usually in cooking shows, you definitely just want to put it, oh, here it is. But I love that.
It's already all cut and it's already all done, but it's seeing how you handle that, and we can feel it does. It can feel really awkward, right? If you've never done it before.
Yeah. And so I the whole idea always with cutting vegetables is to make everything very stable. So I do take out basically what I call the heart of the onion, so that instead of this situation where it's kind of wobbly, I actually take out the heart and it's this situation where it's completely flat. So I am going to use this. I'm not going to throw it away, but I just kind of take a little extra step and effort so that I can have like complete stability with my knife and also my fingers there. I'm not like wobbling with my left hand. So I have like really thin slices, so I'm able to have complete control, and I don't need that much. This will be, I'm going to do another half, but this should be enough. That onion was small, so again, I take out the heart. Now it's stable. I have complete control. I think once I usually show this with to get like those thin cuts, people understand that, yeah, if you get to a point where you don't have stability, and that's what cutting is all about, is having stability. So I have my onions ready there. You could use garlic if you wanted. So these little tomatoes I like to have for salads, for roasting. You can put them in the oven for roasting to add another flavor enhancer that just changes the flavor of the tomato with olive oil, salt and pepper, maybe some herbs. Oh yeah, I need an herb here. So, and then the next thing is my zucchini, which will cook really fast in these little pockets. So I've cut that in half because I want it manageable. And again, because this is round, I want to be able to make that stable. So once I cut the edge off, I'm going to cut one side, and now it's stable. And I'm going to go a little further, and I'm going to cut it in half so it's even more stable. And I'm just going to do little half moons. So you can be a rock star with zucchini because it's soft. And if your knife's not that sharp, you can definitely glide through cutting. So that should be enough for one 6-ounce fish and one serving, right? So that's my zucchini. And then my potato. It could be any potato, but again, it has to be kind of thin.
That's a big potato, Maribel.
Yeah, this is my russet potato, which I usually always have. I seem to always do something again with that. So I'm going to, again, just make sure that it's stable, it's manageable, and I'm going to do little half moons.
You had said you want to have a starch in there, and so you have the potato. What are some other options that might have been like that we could think of?
Okay. Well, I have the sweet potato. People, that's low glycemic, and it's a little bit better for people who are diabetic and people, on a keto diet. Let's see, rice. If you have something rice on hand, I actually have some quinoa that if it's cooked, I probably could add it to there on the side. What other vegetable is starchy? Other tubers, like maybe a carrot, that's actually starchy. Let's see.
Okay.
Let me
All
think.
right.
A
Yeah, just trying to
parsnip.
think of, yeah, what other types of things? Well, we've got people are saying, right? So much easier, right? The onion tip of stabilizing your vegetables is, I mean, it's just
Yeah,
in practice. And if nobody's ever told you that, or you've never
yeah,
paid attention and you watch these cooking shows and everything's already pre-chopped, you would never
yeah.
do that. So
Right.
what a great tip. Very valuable.
Right. So now that I have all my vegetables cut up, I'm going to season them with a little olive oil, salt, and pepper. And that's a really good serving of vegetables there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's pretty. It's really colorful.
Yeah, colorful, pretty. It's thin enough to cook in. And the fish will take about 12 minutes, and so will the vegetables. So that's a perfect mix. And I'm going to add my olive oil, a generous amount, because this is the only fat that we're using, unless you want to add some butter with this. That's not a bad thing if you add just a little bit. And then salt and pepper. So a generous pinch of salt.
I love your little pinch pot. I have one of those in my kitchen. It makes me feel so official.
Yeah, and that's repurposed because this is a yogurt container. So now it's my little thing. I think they're cute. So this is a lemon and pepper seasoning mix. Again, you can just use pepper. It does have a little bit of pepper. And so I'm just mixing it all up, make sure all the vegetables are glistening, and I will add the same seasoning to my fish. You could add salsa to your fish. You could add like if you have a bottle of salsa, you could, to make a sauce. You
Oh,
could
okay.
you could add that. I'm just keeping it pretty low key. Some people are particular about their seasoning, but say like you like it spicy, you can add some peppers in there. You could add a little sauce already pre-made in there. You could add a puree of uh, pepper. So I'm going to make the pockets now, and I have my aluminum here.
Okay, so you still have aluminum foil. We still need foil for these.
You
'Cause that's-
don't need it, but I have a feeling that people usually don't have parchment. But
okay.
you can get parchment totally. And I just wanted to show that it's not a problem. But I happen to have a little bit of parchment. And the reason why I like a little bit of parchment is because I don't want the fish touching the aluminum really. But it's fine with the aluminum. It works great. So I'm going to dress this with a little bit of lemon. And this is a very fragrant Meyer lemon from California, but you can use any lemon, and generous amount of olive oil.
Yeah, I'm in Florida
And
now, Maribel. So they have citrus all over.
yes,
So that is
yeah,
like one of the new things that I see everywhere. And I'm not a real big citrus person. Like it's not my
uh-huh,
thing. But but I'm trying to say, okay, let's add more of that to dishes.
yeah. Well, well, it's great for your immune system to add citrus. For fish, it kind of just cuts any kind of well, it should never taste fishy because if it's fishy, it's old. But for some people, they just don't like the flavor of a certain fish. This fish is mild. You could substitute this with like depending on what region you're in. Florida, they have a lot of red snapper. They have
Okay,
any kind of
so
what.
so I'm watching you, Maribel. You mixed that all together, made it look all mixy, but now
I'm just
you're doing it
kind of,
pretty.
yeah, I'm doing it pretty. I'm doing it pretty for you guys. And it really doesn't matter because they all had the same seasoning. And now, because when I open this, I'm just going to plop this onto my plate and eat it as so. So I want it to kind of, I'm just layering it is all. And it had the lemon, salt, pepper. I don't think I forgot anything. I didn't even use all my vegetables. but the onions, you'll be surprised, will, if you put a little bit of lemon on top as well, they start to kind of get tangy from the acid. Okay, so I need to rinse my hands.
That just looks so appealing. It looks
Yeah.
just,
And then you can add, like, wine always helps, but if you don't have any wine in the house, which I happen to not have any, the lemon is perfect, or you can even use lime. So now I need to create a little pocket, and there's many ways you can do this. There's no right way, but you basically just want to create vapor, right? Like vapor cooking the fish and everything together. So I'm going to create a seal. Kind of, so I'm going to fold it over really well. And I'm just going to make like a little present. And I actually like doing it with aluminum because it's just a little easier to make sure that the seal is perfect. And you're creating, like, if you think of a pressure cooker, you're capturing all that moisture in there, and it's going to cook it.
and so you're leaving some space, right? It's
Yeah.
not like a tight little package. There's air in there.
There's a little bit of room for it to vaporize, and I've already sealed every area. So now this should puff up a little bit from the vapor, but I made sure that I sealed it. However you can, it's really no science to it. You can do it many different ways. And so now this is all that is going to go in the oven. And I have a sheet pan, and I'm going to put it on at 450, like really hot, so that it really does create a nice seal and vapor in there. And yeah, that's it. So we're going to put this in the oven right now, and it'll cook in 12 minutes.
In 12 minutes.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Do we have enough time?
Yep. Yeah. No, that's perfect. That's perfect. Now, it didn't take us, like, you were kind of, walking us through step by step, and, kind of eliminate, or, kind of drawing it out a little bit, but it didn't even take that much time for you to totally prep it. You had the vegetables there, you cut it, put it all together. And so this is even like a simple, like a quick and easy type of dish too, that if you've got the pieces on hand, you could throw together.
You totally could. Some additional ways that you could change it up. Like I said, if you had tomatillo salsa, you could add that, and maybe just tomatoes and other vegetables like zucchini, squash, or like I said, some kind of tuber potato. Or maybe you have rice on the side, and that's your starch, and that's good too. Like maybe a brown rice if you're trying to, stay low starch and high grain. Another way to go is like adding coconut milk, and you cover it a little bit with coconut milk, and you go Asian, and you add some lemongrass and ginger and garlic. And and so,
okay, if you guys haven't had breakfast this morning, right, like this is gonna destroy you.
Yeah. So I did this for my girlfriends. One time we get together every year at the end of the year, and we have our own little Christmas party, and it's just us ladies. And of course, I've always cooked even before I was officially a chef. And I remember doing this one time. It was so easy, but it wasn't a casserole, and it's for my ladies, so I got to keep them lean and nice. So they were just like, I did it with coconut milk and the ginger and everything. They loved it, and it came out great, and wine always helps it just kind of changes the chemistry as well. So just like a little bit of white wine is nice.
Okay. So it is, it's like this very versatile dish, just changing up some of the sauces, some of the spices, maybe some of the veggies, and you could do this. So if we're adding more fish into our diets, eating, was it low fat, delicious,
and
and
low fat, healthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is your dish.
all three in one dish. This is fabulous. All right, well,
Yeah.
Maribel, well, while that is in the cooking and in the oven stage, let me go ahead and go to our commercial break. This might just be a good time for us to
Okay.
talk about our sponsors,
Go
and
for it.
then we'll shift around to the other side. So I want to say thank you so much to the sponsors of the Angel and Tina Morning Show. Super excited that we've got these fabulous sponsors who support us every single day, bringing the bright start to your day. Not only to our Facebook fans and our followers, but thanks to Zondra TV Network, we are on all the digital streaming platforms. All of those on-demand channels that you love watching your favorite programs, the ZTV Network has a streaming network of producers and all these great programs, including the Angel and Tina Morning Show. And if you've ever thought about hosting your own show, you want to have a TV show, let's take that content up from YouTube channel and podcasting and create your own TV production. You can schedule a discovery call with the ZTV network by going to beonztv.com. That's beonztv.com. Get your platform, like leverage the power of what we call OPA, other people's audiences, Apple TV, Roku, Fire TV, Android, Chromecast, and more. So thank you, Zondra TV Network. Bliss by the Lake Boutique is our clothing sponsor. They get new inventory in every single week. Follow them on social media. They ship all around the globe. And Sonic VA for your video assistant. Take that content, right? It's easy, well-ish, right? To record the videos, to make the content, but it's the editing and the uploading and all those extra steps that take forever. Let Sonic VA be your video assistant partner, getting those YouTube, boosting your YouTube channel. When you mention the Angel and Tina Morning Show, Sonic VA is going to give you a 10% discount off your first 5 videos. Right? If you're doing one a week, that'll definitely jumpstart your YouTube experience and your followers and subscribers. So go to sonicva.com/video, mention the Angel and Tina Morning Show, send them your raw footage and let them make you look like a rock star on YouTube. That's Sonic VA, Sonic Video Assistant, Bliss by the Lake Boutique, and the Zondra TV Network. We are so grateful for you to be sponsoring the Angel and Tina Morning Show. And this morning, Cocina Maribel is in the kitchen teaching us how that we can cook healthier, low-fat, delicious meals and keep our goals, or get our goals going, stay on that healthy kit goal for the new year. And I know you talked about your cooking classes, but just in case somebody's just now tuning in and catching us, tell us more about those cooking classes, Maribel.
So it's a cooking program, and it's a membership, and that I'm basically doing a recipe every week, and members get a video and they get a breakdown of what to do. And then of course I'm going to give them a lot of value on how they can incorporate that one recipe and make it different, just like I did right now. And then we have one live class, and then we have Facebook Q&A support with me, so that people have questions about their other menus. And if they really want some extra attention, I'm giving a consultation once a month for people, so that a lot of people, like I have a friend who really wants to, they don't like all the programs out there because there's always something that they don't like to eat or they don't like to prepare, but it's part of the program. So that's my opportunity to cater. Okay, let's get you cooking more of this, and how can we make that versatile for you? So that's 2 tiers, and I'm starting a Facebook group called Club Cocina, where if you're not a member, then I still will give you value there, share my live opportunities that they may not know of, like this video and other things that I'm doing. So I'm going live pretty often anyways. So I want to repurpose, reshare, and also still offer value to people so that they can still get motivated to cook. And really, it's about creating a community through food. And I used to do community cooking, and I used to train people in the community, just the basics of cooking. But again, it's like low fat, delicious, it's healthy. And these are the basics of cooking anyways. you know, as a restaurant chef, you're always, actually, it's very sexy to cook vegetables and make your plate very colorful. And it's all actually pretty healthy, you know. Granted, there's a little extra butter in there, but but I use a lot of olive oil actually in my cooking. I do add butter here and there, and then of course I give you options, you know, where you can omit. And even a lot of people are on low sodium diets. You know, okay, what's a good substitute for salt, things like that. So I'm I'm excited about that because, like I said before, health is my background in education. I studied nutrition, then I switched to health and wellness promotions, which is, you know, all about health and wellness living, basically.
Well,
So
and
I
so
think,
much of our health and wellness comes from the kitchen, right? You know, the
yeah,
foods that we're
we all
eating,
we all got to eat.
right? But there is an element of, you know, it does a lot of it starts with the foods that
Yeah,
you know that we're
yeah,
eating.
yeah,
You know, if we're putting in chemicals and
yeah,
all of that, you know, processed stuff, of course it's going to have an impact on our
yeah.
health. So I love that
Thank you.
you are taking that to the kitchen. And
Yeah,
that, I mean, and this has been a really weird year, obviously, right? The with restaurants closing
yeah,
and not having um you know, not having their livelihood, right? Of families
yeah.
being able to go. And you've taken that transition, Maribel, and really pivoted and reinvented yourself during this time, which I think is very inspiring for anybody out there. How do I take what I've always done and does it transfer over and translate over into this new
Right.
world of all social distancing? And you've done a great job at that.
Thank you. Thank you. I call it my boot scoot pivot. Okay. It's like a boot scoot pivot, you know. You just gotta get into it. You gotta just make it happen.
Okay, so are you making anything else?
No,
No.
that's
Okay.
it. That
Okay.
I can.
I saw the pan. I didn't want to like miss out on. So Maribel, you know, for those that are like having a hard time boot scooting and pivoting, what I don't know, what gave you I don't
The
know.
impetus to do
Yes.
it, or the,
Yes.
well, you know, I do okay on TV. So video, I've always thought, is where the visibility is, but you know, people don't need to always do that. I think that just doing a newsletter, doing, you know, sending out, communicating with people via their own little newsletter to communicate with their own group. I've heard it, many stories of how they just started with their own little email list and it kind of just rippled and sharing whatever it is that they're doing, writing, um, their artwork, sharing their projects. I mean, there are so many ways now virtually to connect, and hopefully in the future, this is my goal. Hopefully in the future, that I'm able to do like a circuit with all the people that I connect with nationally and do a like a, you know, like a cooking workshop and just make my own tour, you know, make it happen for myself and do my own, like, I'm appearing here, I'm appearing there, and connect with all the people that I've already made connections with via community. So yeah, those, I think even just starting with like a very small newsletter is helpful. But you know, Instagram is free if you're like to be behind the camera. You know, obviously we know on TikTok that people have gotten famous, like Tabitha Brown. She's amazing and just has shared her, yeah, she has like her thing now of what she says. Everyone knows her sayings and she's like profiting from it. But for the most part, she's herself and she's sharing her own belief about how she lives her life and how she, you know, does her food and her passion. And of course, she's an actress. But oh, that's my coffee maker. It's over.
Oh, like is that the smoke alarm?
Yeah, that's what I was like. Sorry. No, we got 4, 3, 2, 1 to check the oven. There's a timer for the oven,
Oh,
and we're gonna,
good timing.
yep, yep. We're gonna check our fish. I know the fish will be ready, but the only question is our potato and vegetables. But I think I cut it pretty thin, So let's, if you want to bring it down to
Bring it down to here, spotlight this one. I know,
yeah, the second.
I'm being the camera crew today too.
Yeah, it's, you know, we're one woman show here.
So Maribel, if for some reason, if
Yes.
for some reason it wasn't done and you
Yes.
open up this little packet and release all the moisture and all the steam out of it, is there any saving it and putting it back
Yes.
in the oven?
Of course, no worries. This is very forgiving. No problems. We can package it up. We can even just leave it open and just put it in the oven. You could actually, the steam just helps like facilitate it cooking those flavors all together. And I obviously
Those are
did
chef's fingers. I imagine that aluminum foil is a little toasty.
it. So here goes the steam. And
Oh,
yeah.
look at that. And you can see the steam rising off of it with your, again, your navy blue.
Yeah.
Wow.
So all I got to do, my fish, I just got to check my fish and see if it's good. And for me, this is perfect. So I just did a little Oprah. It's perfect. So all I have to worry about now is my potato because that's the thickest vegetable.
Okay.
So
but they were super thin.
They are, but they could use a little bit of crisping. So what I have done in the past is I've actually kind of like pre-cooked the vegetables, like especially the potatoes. Everything else is perfect, like the zucchini, the tomato, the flavoring is perfect. What I love about this, it's like marinating together, and that's why it's like a one pot show, you know. So I can actually put this in the oven and let this crisp up and cover my my fish so it doesn't overcook. But that's it. That's the dish.
So Maribel, like if you were gonna do like for a family, right? You know,
Yeah,
larger servings, would you do like individual packets for each person? So if I had a family of four, I do 4 packets. Would you do 2 larger packets or one great big packet?
So I would do an individual packet, and this is a great thing to teach little ones to do the package and to show them and the seasoning, because it's very simple. As you saw, I can, you know, make it complex, but I think kind of like making your own pizza, each person gets their own packet and they have their own packet and they can serve it on their plate, and that's it. It's
Okay,
I would do individual ones.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're just waiting for those because the potatoes, right? Could you have
Yeah.
I don't know, like could we have done something else with the potatoes to
Yeah, I would put them in the oven and ahead of time in the broiler, even though they're thin, and just cover it with uh, olive oil, and they will cook really fast.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Right. I'm really just a kitchen hack, right? Like I just go in and I've tried some different recipes and if I don't have
yeah,
an ingredient or something, I'll improvise or, modify it based on what I have or something like that.
yeah,
But you tend to kind of get in a rut, right? Buy
yeah,
things at the store, you cook the same things over and over again. And so this is just nice for expanding your palate, little bit of variety. I think we'd love a little bit of variety, I think it makes it more exciting to show up and you don't feel like
yeah.
you're like depriving yourself.
Right. So yeah, this is actually, and you can add breadcrumbs on this. You could add another, that's a good one. Another starch. Like I have breadcrumbs usually. You could add Parmesan to it. You could, yeah. So to me, this is like an easy weeknight dinner for me, and also for one or for a family. Like I said, individual packets so people have their own, and you'll be surprised. I'm sure kids they like to make their own touch on it if you guide them to it.
Right, get them involved in the kitchen, right? Get them
Yeah,
involved in the process so they're not just
yeah,
what's for dinner and waiting for you. The kitchen is such a great hub for families, right? I mean, even
yeah,
when you have company, everybody always seems to gather in the kitchen, right? Like
yeah,
it is,
yeah,
and if you've got little activities or stations that you can bring people in and get involved, then you don't feel like you're in there all by yourself, right? Well, everybody else is doing
yeah,
something else, and so
yeah,
make it a family affair. I love it. Okay,
yeah.
so you're gonna post the recipe for
I
us.
am. I have the recipe ready to post. I just want to take a nice little picture of this and then I'll add it to my blog to share with you guys.
Okay, and you're using your camera, right? So we could turn that like second one off if you want to take your picture while it's still all toasty and
Mm,
beautiful.
toasty. Sure. Well, I mean, I don't have I need to post it and share it and upload it and all that jazz.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I didn't know if you needed your camera to take the picture of it. Okay, so lovely, fabulous,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
that's it. I
that
mean,
was
that is so fast.
that was like one of the fastest dishes we've done here. We've done a ton of stuff, and
Yeah.
that was like a full dinner, and
Yeah.
you could almost do like a whole section of, here are 20-minute, dinner under
Oh, yeah.
kind of meals, right? If you want,
Well, that's how Rachel Ray got famous. Dinner under in 30 minutes.
right? From fridge to table. And
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
always think that, we don't have time, and going out for fast food is not necessarily faster, right? If you
Mm,
get in the car and, go and
right.
right and bring it home, right? Uh,
Well, and that's another thing. I talk about economics very much so in the cooking program is that the value of what you're getting at home, it's low fat because you have control over what you put on there. You don't need to put, and if you do put something yummy like cheese or butter that you do a little bit, but I guarantee you in restaurants they do load it up with fat because generally, of course, we like fat, nothing wrong with that. We like salt, and a lot of things are over seasoned at restaurants. And then the cost that you're paying 4 times as much compared to the cost of this fish for myself or for your family. And you can have extra, you can make even more because, yeah. So, I mean, you're going to get more value out of cooking at home. And it does take practice. But again, if you do it in a community, if you do it as a group, then it becomes a bit more manageable. And to be honest, I burn out, but I definitely recommend at least giving yourself 1 to 2 days during the week where you're not cooking and maybe you can afford to take order something in, or you definitely have a partnership with your partner in the house or somebody in the kitchen, somebody else besides you who takes turns to cook.
It is true, because every now and then we get I'm like, didn't we just do this yesterday? Like, I feel like we do this every day. We're always having to cook and figure out what we're making and clean the kitchen. And so, but even some of the dishes that you like repurpose, if it's
Yeah.
mostly pulled together, then it doesn't feel like you're having to start from scratch and cook a whole.
Yeah. So what I recommend, and this is what I do, is I basically plan 3 main meals where it does take me a bit of effort in the kitchen, and that includes my Sunday dinner. And then I have leftovers on Monday. And pretty much, I didn't realize this because it's been a while since I've been cooking at home. But I didn't realize this is what my mom always did. She would make a Sunday dinner, and I think we've gotten out of the habit of doing that. She would make a roast, or she'd make something that would repurpose during the week, but it was a completely different meal. So she would make Mexican. She would make like something laborious like enchiladas, which are actually pretty laborious. You make the sauce from scratch. You make everything from scratch. You put it all together. You don't just have it for leftovers. You save parts of it, and she would make like this sauce, and she would turn that sauce into something else, like as a covering for another protein, maybe. But yes, we had some extra enchiladas, so she would have that like on Wednesday or
No,
Tuesday.
I used to, as you're saying that, Maribel, I remember because I was, I would grocery shop every week for the family. We'd plan our menus for the week, and then I would go grocery shop. But I think I only planned for like 5 meals for the week because either we would go out or there would be
Yeah.
leftovers. Like if I planned for 7, there was always way too much. There was always just way too much. It was so wasteful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so if we just planned for 4 or 5 meals that I would shop for, that there was like that would get us through the week because there was always leftovers, we could repurpose. Sometimes we would go out, eat something
You would
else.
have, a really good sandwich. Is a really nice thing as well. I mean, it doesn't, as long as it's like super, thought out and delicious, that's a nice thing. So, there's always sandwiches, there's always soups. There's like, soup is my haven,
Oh,
at least one soup during
soup.
the week.
Yeah.
And again, you're repurposing something that you already started. And so I do think of 3 main meals, and that'll take me into really like 5 to 6 days,
Mm.
and I'm okay. And sometimes I'm not hungry and I don't eat or
Yeah,
something.
and we do that too. Like every now and then you're like, you know what? Like we're good. And just
Yeah.
like we call it happy hour where we'll just, bring out, just a few little nibbles and
Yeah.
just, snack.
Sometimes yeah, exactly. Sometimes I'm just, and that's just because you probably don't have your kids, because kids are always hungry. But
Yeah, that was something we started after the kids left. Like we could,
right.
Jay and I were like, this is so easy when it's just the two of us.
Wait, you have actually the other day I was like, I'm not really that hungry. I'm just gonna have a little bit of cheese. I'm gonna have my apple and a glass of wine and maybe some fruit and like something citrusy. So, and that was maybe some nuts, and that was my dinner.
We do that. We do
But
that.
that but that's okay because
Yeah.
you're eating light in the evening.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm hungry the next day and I do a healthy breakfast or whatever. So speaking of breakfast, that's another great way to, kind of plan. I don't think, I know people are fasting in the mornings and stuff, but you still need to eat like something. So thinking of what you have for breakfast and what you have is like another thing to keep you satiated. So you're not having to I only eat twice a day. So it kind of reduces my meals.
There you go. There you go. Right. And there's a lot of stuff now that talks about this intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
I think I've always just naturally done that. I don't eat late at night and
Well, yeah.
yeah. And so I've always done that naturally. Um,
So
anyways.
our potatoes are ready. I'm going to show you right here.
Oh, okay.
They
Oh,
got a
yeah, let
little
me spotlight.
crispy, which is a bonus.
Okay, here, let me spotlight that. Oh, pretty. Really
Yeah.
pretty. I love crispy potatoes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and they're not that much. I didn't use the whole potato, but yeah. So again, it's pretty simple. It's colorful, and it's just the right amount of food for one person, really. So that is what I have for you today. And next week, what would you like? I can make something just as simple.
Just as simple. I have no idea, Maribel. Like, I'm gonna let you, our
Okay.
resident chef, come up with whatever strikes your fancy. What you happen to have in
Okay.
the fridge. Maybe you find something down at the supplier, and you're like, oh, I want to make something with this. Like, you surprise us, so we'll just be thrilled. I
Okay.
want to thank you. Thank you so much for doing our cooking
Sure.
segment on Fridays. I always look forward to it. I just think it's a nice way to end the week and go into the
Yeah.
weekend. And the
No
fact that we
problem.
do this low fat, delicious, and healthy meals. And that was like super fast and easy. So you're just fabulous. You're
Thank
fabulous.
you. You
Well,
too.
thank you so much to our audience for hanging out today. We hope you have a beautiful weekend. I'm actually, for the first time in months, my husband and I are going away for the weekend. We're driving down to the Florida Keys. We have not gone away or had a weekend or had like anything in a year, right? It's probably been a year. So I'm super looking forward to that. We are now on the countdown for closing our house. We are like 14,
Mm.
like 14, 15, 16, 17 days until we close on the house. Things are finally moving forward at a very rapid pace. So super excited about that. I just want to say thank you so much for all of you who hang out with us. If you are looking for more exposure, more media, more, you want to get published, you want to speak more, you want to get featured on radio, television, magazines, podcasts, stages, get your complimentary media starter kit at makeyourbigimpact.com. Make sure you grab Tina's book, Beyond Gratitude, still for sale for $5 on Amazon. Go to beyondgratitudebook.com and pick up your copy of Beyond Gratitude. While you're there, you can also grab a copy of ABCs of Exposure, everything that you need for publishing, speaking, and publicity to jumpstart your 2021. And we want to say thank you. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a fabulous weekend.